stay on very long today. I know it's obviously supposed to be Bheezebake, and we're supposed to watch A Woman Called Moses, but it's like 4 hours long. And I feel like I already did my 4 hour. I watched Justice League, which is 4 hours long. And I need to work on my Justice League review. So I'm gonna not do Bheezebake today. After I get off, I'm gonna work on my review, because I really want to get that review up this week. And it's so long that I need to work on it. It was so long that I need to work on it. So no Bheezebake today, but we'll be back next week. I did see that that girl that got that black girl fired from Teen Vogue got caught saying the N-word. That's literally what I just saw right before I went live. Shit was hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I was like, you see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you try to fucking come for some niggas. Everyone hates black people, so got exposed. Hi, Jules. Hi, Kimberly Frazier. Hi, Really Bean. Hi, Francesca. No, I didn't get my computer yet. I just ordered it. What happened? The main person that was calling for that black girl to get fired from Teen Vogue, they dug up racist tweets on her, the Asian girl. Anti-black tweets using the N-word. Yes. So now people are like, is she going to get fired? Are they both going to be fired? We're not doing Bheezebake today because I need to work on my Justice League review. We're supposed to watch A Woman Called Moses, but A Woman Called Moses is like 4 hours long. And I really need to work on my Justice League review because I really want my Justice League review to go up this week. So I'm going to postpone Bheezebake. I'm going to postpone. Sorry, my pillow is right here. I have my hand on it. That's why you guys can see it. I should probably move. That's probably like messed up to just have my pillow all in y'all face. But yeah. Justice League. Yeah. A Woman Called Moses was originally a miniseries. So it's like 4 hours long because it's like all together. But I watched Justice League, which is like also 4 hours long, and I really want to work on my Justice League review. So I'm gonna postpone actual Bheezebake until next week, so we can watch it next week. And I'm just doing a little quick chat live from my bed. And I said that the last thing that I saw before I came on live was that the main instigator trying to get the black girl fired from Teen Vogue got caught with racist anti-black tweets using the N-word. That was the last thing. So that's like the recap of the last 4 minutes of what I've said. So I'm just laying in my bed. Hi, Francesca. Yeah, I didn't get my computer yet. Hi, Mistress Cross. Hi, Rod. Francesca, it's anti-blackness. I was just like, wow. So now she has to get fired too, right? She has to get fired. It's just funny. It's like you went so hard on this black girl knowing you don't even like black people. You have fucking tweets using the N-word. I don't want to laugh, but it's just like, it's getting weird. It's getting weird. This was exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can't trust anybody. Like, you know, she went so hard on that girl who admittedly did say, like, she admittedly did tweet, like, racist stuff. And she did get fired, even though she had already apologized for it. And Teen Vogue already knew. But it's like, did you get that black girl fired because you already don't like black people? And so you just like set her up, like you set her up to get fired. You like, because you already are a fucking anti-black racist. Like, this is exactly our point. Like, handle your shit, but don't drag black people into it because, like, y'all don't even like niggas and we can prove it. We have the motherfucking receipts. It's like, it's weird. It's getting really weird, you guys. All I want to know is, are they going to fire this girl too? Is she going to get fired too? Because if she doesn't get fired, that's a clear double standard. Like, she has to get fired. Like, bitch, you gonna fuck around. You fucked around and got yourself fired. Got that black girl fired, and now your ass about to be gone too. Wild. Hi, Monica. Mistress Cross. Laughing my ass off. That's hella karma. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Rico. Hi, Ori. Yeah, A Woman Called Moses was a miniseries. Because I was like looking it up, looking for links, and I was like, oh shit, it's 4 hours. I have to do my Justice League review. I can't watch all this today. So we'll do that one next week. My friend who isn't into that DC texted me like whoever the other director was needs to be fired because this new cut is way better. Joss bitch ass. Man, I have to work on this review. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of feelings. It took me 2 days to finish the Snyder Cut. It was well worth it to me. It felt like a totally different movie. And you guys saw, and you guys remember all that chatter when they like first announced it. When they were like, it's going to be the same movie. It's going to be the same movie. It's going to be the same movie. It's just a little bit of extra footage. It's going to be the same movie. The whole entire ending was different. Like, everyone, I'm saying this is why I can't stay because I have to work on this review. I have to work on this review. So that's why I can't stay. I'm just doing a little quick live from my bed. I was like, we haven't done a quick bed live in a while. Hi, Deb the Wise. Hi, Chariot Man Gaming. Hi, Cam Powhatan. Cozy in bed, yay. Oh, okay, Jules. Damn, I missed the Teen Vogue thing. It just happened. I just saw it literally right before I came on live. Think that black lady needs to get a lawyer. You think so, Nicole? Do you think she should sue Teen Vogue? Or do you think she should sue this Asian girl? Who do you think she should sue? It's very weird. Right, very odd. Hi, Shim Jim. Hi, Owen. Hi, Zafuri. I got your email. They have to fire her. If she doesn't get fired, that's more ammo for the attorney. She needs to be fired. I want the Asians to leave us alone on God. It's too much. I was really like, this Asian girl out here joking around with her white friend on Twitter, talk about niggers. She literally tweeted some shit like, I love the phrase white nigger. Girl, what's wrong with you? And then you had the nerve. You had the audacity to fucking go after this fucking black girl. Like, did you really get this black girl fired because you already don't like black people? Like, what? Maybe she should get a lawyer because the Asian girl has to get fired. Maybe the black girl should get a lawyer because, like, was she discriminated against? Was she just discriminated against? I think she should definitely sue the anti-black lady that got her fired and, if possible, name Teen Vogue in the lawsuit because this smells like hostile work environment to me. Right, like, and that's exactly my point. Like, Asians do shit to black people and they don't like black people, and then they turn around and they be like, them black people are the problem. They don't like us. It's like, no, you don't even like darker skinned Asians, let alone actual niggers. What is going on? It is getting weird. It's weird. It's getting really weird, guys. It's getting really weird. I watched it in one sitting too, Owen. Jules said they better take that to court. I'm really curious now to see how this is going to play out because they move real quick to fire that black girl. Hi, Brooke. I haven't watched the Snyder Cut yet, but I'm getting excited. Hi, Senna. This review is going to be 10 parts. It's like my Roots review, 8 parts, and every part is an hour long. They better take that to court. I watched all of it before work. The other day, I started at 9 a.m. Hi, Amara. Yeah, I watched all of Justice League in one sitting, too. My dad watched it and loved it. So I'm going to talk about this more in my review, but I felt like it was paced very well to be so long. But I'm not going to talk about Justice League too much because I'm going to do my review after. I'm going to try and work on my review after this. I don't know if the review is going to be going up today, but I need to work on it, which is why we're not doing Bheezebake today. Those Asians are catching it now. I watched it in one sitting. Exactly, Jules. Remember when people were like, there's only going to be 14 minutes of extra content. People have been hating on Justice League from the beginning. From the beginning. People have had a bone to pick with this movie. They've had it out for this movie. I'm going to watch half of it today. The Snyder Cut was everything. The Pirators deserve all the praise. Can't wait to see the review. You watched it in increments. 4 hours is a little extra. Talking about that Snyder Cut, man, that was a whole entire different movie. And they were definitely like hating. They were like, oh, well, Zack said he's not reshooting anything. There's only going to be 15 extra minutes. So what's going to be different? It's going to be the exact same movie. Like, people really did not understand. Like, they said that Joss reshot 3/4 of the movie. Like, he cut shit out and filmed new shit. All that shit that was in there was Joss. Like, it was not Zack, you fucking idiots. But whatever. I'm going to talk about all this in my review because I'm going to do a whole lead up with the backstory, and I'll have all the relevant links to my original Justice League reviews, and all my other videos, of course, on this topic, of course, will be in the description box. But it's a lot. I have a lot of feelings. Hi, Cafe Olay. They need to sue both. The girl needs to sue both the lady and Teen Vogue. What happened with Teen Vogue? The Asian girl that was gunning for that black girl to get fired. People dug up racist anti-black tweets that she made using the N-word. So now it's like, was she gunning for that black girl to get fired so hard because she herself is anti-black? Like, does that mean this black girl was discriminated against? Like, is this a lawsuit? Like, what's going to happen with this situation? Is this Asian girl going to get fired? So now are they both going to be fired? My stepdad watched yesterday. He also saw the original, and he said he liked the Snyder Cut more. I've got so many thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Vastly superior. I still think Batman vs. Superman was complete ass, but now I get the feeling WB was the main reason why, rather than Snyder forced him to stuff too much into it. Like, the fact that the Snyder Cut is so well paced and it's 4 hours, I definitely agree. They definitely just didn't want to let him make his movies, obviously, and you can tell they were just constantly interfering. And it started with Man of Steel, and then we just like saw it play out across multiple movies. Like, they basically they were tanking their own movies out of fear. I told you guys I'm going to do a review. I'm going to work on a review. We're going to talk about all this in the review. I think she should definitely sue the anti-black lady that got her fired, and if possible, name Teen Vogue in the lawsuit, because this smells like hostile work environment. The root cause is anti-blackness. Owen. Yeah, no Justice League spoilers yet. I mean, my review will have spoilers, but obviously I'm going to put spoiler tags. Hi, Natalia. The black girl was discriminated against by another woman of color, but they're talking about what black people have to do, go out, march for them, like, Hi, Kylo. Hope they let Snyder make a sequel. I still want Man of Steel 2. Good point with the dark-skinned Asians. I think they might be able to stake a claim as well. The black girl needs to bury her in lawsuits and ruin Teen Vogue's reputation. Hi, Bushy Brows. Glad to see you on. I was just watching this getting weird from the beginning. No, my new computer didn't come yet. My new computer did not come yet. I saw a tweet that was like, "Oh, that Latasha Harlan situation happened in the '90s. The nomenclature has changed, and Asians aren't even anti-black anymore." I was like, "Peter Lang, hello." Yeah, there's. It's getting weird. There's definitely something weird happening. It's like revisionist history. A lot of revisionist history is happening right now. A lot. They really said it will only be 14 minutes extra. It was more like an extra 140 minutes. I will say I watched the Snyder Cut in one sitting, the whole 4 hours. I agree, the pacing isn't bad at all. The entire time I was just immersed in the whole thing. Yep, I agree, Brooke. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, exactly, with Justice League. People just wanted to be haters. Abuse of power, yeah. She should definitely sue for abuse of power. You're right, Owen. Yeah. She should, like, that girl was, like, gunning for her. And, like, now it turns out that, like, she's anti-black. But, like, nobody ever wants to examine anti-blackness. Nobody ever wants to examine anti-blackness. It's a lot. The other girl has to get fired, at the very least. Hi, Alexia. I'm doing all right. Chilling. Joss Whedon has been getting by on Jane Espenson's talent for decades. Wasn't the black woman from Teen Vogue like 15 when she made those tweets? Yeah, she was. And she said she had already apologized for them in 2019. And she said that before she even got hired for the Teen Vogue job, she already had told them about it. So, like, they really just fired her just because, which, like, okay, whatever. But, like, now it's also came out that this other person involved in the situation is anti-black. So what's going to happen? You know, white people get and Asians get to have a racist phase. She's going to be like, I didn't know when I made those nigger tweets. But the black girl that was 16, she had to get fired. Double standard. Kiss my ass and my anus because it's finally famous. They butchered Suicide Squad. I hate Joss so much. Zack is the better director, so I'm not surprised that the movie was better. Joss sucks. I can't believe they were willing to tank their own film, and for what? Everyone was so afraid of how Man of Steel was, but I honestly really liked it. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. I'm like a super Man of Steel stan. I was like all over Twitter, like, you guys are haters. Like, I've fucking written essays on it. Like, you guys are fucking haters. This movie is amazing. It's been like a lot of years of me being like, this movie's amazing. This movie is amazing. Zack Snyder is a fucking genius. Like, you guys are just like not understanding his fucking creative vision. You fucking plebes. The WB let Joss Whedon waste millions of dollars just to CGI Henry Cavill's beard out because he wanted him to do reshoots. Yep, and he was already doing Mission Impossible Fallout, and he wasn't gonna get rid of his beard. Yes, like the WB just I don't know, like they really wasted money. They literally like just lit money on fire and burned it because they did not believe in Joss's creative vision, which is like, why? What? Hi, Lisa. Why are they always coming for us black women? Because they're anti-black. And they're anti-black American too, specifically. Yeah, I need Man of Steel too. Hi, Deadly Gamer. A whole lot of gaslighting, Kylo. It's the willful ignorance for me with the anti-black racism. I've been hoping for a Man of Steel 2 for years now. Man of Steel was such a good movie and people hated on it so hard. Twitter and social media have been real gaslighty recently. It's getting weird, Jules. It's getting weird. Hi, Tim. I watched it all in one sitting, too. Really enjoyed Wonder Woman in it. Oh, you didn't like Flash? Just, hi, Leandros. Just arrived to say Snyder Cut made me love DC again. Yup, Daniel Holtzclaw, who was a Asian American cop that raped 13 black women. Yep. Kimberly, yep. Wait, so this Teen Vogue situation, they fired the black woman for her tweets, but turns out the Asian woman was racist too. What the hell? Bushy brows! It's getting weird. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. I don't know. We're going to see how this plays out, aren't we? I really hope they continue the Snyderverse on HBO Max, and if the reception is good, they should do movies in theaters first and release it in HBO Max like 2 weeks later and make shows to fill in the gaps. We'll see. It's true, though. The anti-black racist phase is commonplace. This is what I keep saying. Like, anti-blackness is so normalized in our society. It's, like, not even a big deal. But, like, other shit the world got to stop for. Like, anti-blackness is really, like, the foundation of, like, everything. And anti-black American sentiment specifically. Like, it's so normalized. It's so normalized. It's so normalized. It really is. I was just a teen. I didn't know. Nikki runs. I want more of the Snyderverse. And Latinos like Camila Cabello, too. They let her get away with it. She took diversity classes. Right, but the black girl had to get fired. That's interesting. Even though, like, you know, whatever, she did say it, but, like, now what's going to happen? Right, it's part of their coming-of-age story, being racist. Hi, Alexandra Bailey. The Camilla situation weirded me out so much. Hi, Kaylin. How are you so racist? You need a racial immersion retreat to deal with your anti-blackness. And it's acceptable. And that's seen as acceptable. That's seen as an acceptable statement to make. Yep. It's getting weird. It's mostly the Marvel lames with the hate. They eat and breathe Disney. It got me wanting to watch Justice League now. My favorite is Batman. It's true. They love to act like age and time has forgiven all their sins without ever having to do any of the work. Sometimes it's so weird for me because I love Buffy and the Angel spinoff, but like Joss isn't this cool feminist dude like I thought he was in high school. Yeah, that was like a very carefully crafted image. I kind of feel like Joss is like a sociopath. I don't know, like Joss just seems like a weird dude. He's like really creatively talented, but he just seems like he's definitely a misogynist. Maybe it's just that he's a misogynist. But he's like one of those misogynists, you know, one of those like, I'm a nice guy misogynist. Like, I'm nice, I'm a nice guy. And they really be the worst ones. Like, they really hate women and they just like take it to a weird place. Like, I'm going to make up a whole fake feminist persona that I'm going to use so that I can like really like lampoon women even more. Like, it's just like a whole, like you have a whole scenario in your head, like about women, you fucking weirdo. Batman is the best, doesn't need superpowers to get the job done. Zack Snyder's vision is something else. He knows what he wants to do and he executes it like nobody's business. Hi, Nova. Hi, J Malik, Mistress Cross, Nathan Morse. I love seeing Cyborg getting his shine. Oh, you went skating? Man of Steel was incredible. I'm dead ass about the black girl suing. Abuse of power. She could definitely sue for abuse of power. Like, well, it's now been proven that this girl that was gunning for me is actually, in fact, an anti-black racist herself. So how can you guys know for sure that her coming after me wasn't because she's a racist? Like, was I discriminated against? And everybody in Teen Vogue just went along with it, and they let me go. She might have a lawsuit for real. And then especially if they don't fire the other girl, she definitely has a lawsuit. It's getting weird. They lit the money on fire like Joker did in Dark Knight. They was just like, here, Joss, have a match. Just burn this money. Hi, Lefty Vlogs. I feel like Snyder has a whole universe in his head that he wants to get out, but they won't move out of the way. Let creators create. I agree. Screenshot. That was actually a different black woman. Matter of fact, wasn't Teen Vogue popping again because of the black woman? I think you're thinking of Elaine Welteroth, who is no longer the editor-in-chief, but who is also black. And she did, like, she really rebuilt Teen Vogue from the ground up. And she really kind of, like, turned Teen Vogue into this, like, quote-unquote, like, woke, progressive, politically leaning publication. I watched Man of Steel 4 times in the theaters when it came out. Hi, Theo. I support you as a non-Black American. Anyone that is triggered by you calling out anti-Black American sentiments can sit down and wear the shoe that fits. Thank you, Afro Babe. Wear the shoe that fits. I like how you put that. People needing diversity classes and cultural sensitivity classes to not be racist. LOL, what the fuck is going on with you people? It's because it's because anti-Black American sentiment and anti-Blackness is so ingrained and normalized. And like colorism and shit, that shit is fucking everywhere. Like, it's so weird. And people really be thinking, like, they progressive and woke and all this stuff. And you be like, but you hate niggers. Like, what? If you need a cultural sensitivity class, something is not all the way right. Joss was putting on the coat of feminism in order to hide who he truly is. Misogyny light. Low-carb misogyny, like the misogynistic wolf in sheep's clothing. Xander Harris. Hi, Richie. Yeah, we're chilling. We were going to watch A Woman Called Moses today, but it's 4 hours long because it's a mini-series, and I can't watch that today because I have to work on my Justice League review. So we're just having like a quick little chat. Just a quick little chat. Yeah, those really are the worst type of misogynist. So creepy. Thank you, Jamal. Yeah, we're going to do A Woman Called Moses is going to be next week because I'm really trying to like not procrastinate on this Justice League review and get it out. Hi, Marcus. And it's so long. It's also 4 hours, so it's going to take a while. I sit back and think about the trauma that the character Buffy went through. And I think about how Joss Whedon really is. And I'm like, damn, he's trash. Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, a lot of people have sort of been thinking about that as sort of like a reassessment of his works. Like, the work is great. The writing is amazing. The characters are amazing and all that. But at the same time, it's sort of like, but you do put all your women characters in horrible, abusive, misogynistic situations for them to get beat down all the time. Do you like women? If I were the black girl, I would be like, if I gotta go down, then so does she. The Teen Vogue stuff doesn't surprise me much looking at the current weather of politics. My major is fashion media, and black people, and especially black women, are so rare in fashion. So the fact that a fellow POC, in quotes, Jules, would try to get a black woman fired shows POC solidarity doesn't exist. No, POC solidarity doesn't exist because everybody hates black people. Like, no matter where you're from, everybody hates black people, and especially like black Americans. Like, no matter where you're from, there's an issue with blackness. You can pick any country. There's an issue with blackness. That's why there is no such thing as POC solidarity, because everybody has a problem with blackness. Again, like, even people within their own communities, like Asians don't like Southeast Asians because they are darker. Like, you guys can see my hand because I'm laying in the bed, but I'm doing like this. Like, Somebody left a comment on my video, "This is the problem." And they said, they were like, that they read something that said that until anti-blackness is dealt with, none of this shit is going to go anywhere. None of these movements, none of this racial shit is going to go anywhere until anti-blackness is dealt with. Because, like, anti-blackness is, like, a universal problem. So all this, like, we trying to, like, do this and do that. Motherfuckers can't deal with anti-blackness. Just about every race and ethnic group has a slur for us. They have anti-black solidarity. Right, Frozen. That's what they have. Anti-black solidarity. That's really what it is. Hi, Basima. I worked in the fashion industry for 10 years. Trust me, it's bad for us black women out here. Hi, Eliza. Hi, Small Cupid. Yeah, fake woke only, Theo. I want Snyder to take over for the whole DCEU so it'll be more consistent. Just off the visuals and the trailers, Snyder's Atlantis shits on that Power Rangers looking mess James Wan put out in Aquaman. Well, that's how it was supposed to be originally. They originally brought on Zack Snyder to do the whole DCEU. He was supposed to do all the movies, like everything. It was supposed to be like his unfiltered creative vision. But the first movie that came out was Man of Steel, and Man of Steel got, like, crucified by people that, like, didn't really understand it. And then it was just literally, like, all downhill from there. Like, they lost faith in his creative vision, and they start, like, swapping directors in and out. Whoops. They start, like, swapping directors in and out and, like, chopping, screwing up plot lines and the production and... But, like, that's originally how it was supposed to be. So it's, like, so funny that, like, here we are all these years later... And now people are like, that's what we want. Not like you in particular, Ori, but just in general. People are like, they need to give Zack Snyder control of the whole thing. But when we said you need to let Zack, but then everybody called us. They said we were just Marvel haters. It was weird back then too. It got weird then too. It's really weird right now. All public discourse seems like it's in this like strange place. You lost me? Oh, but now I'm back. Yeah, I just got a notification that my phone's gonna die in a little while. All public discourse right now seems like it's in a weird ass space on everything. Like, it's really weird. So I'm just sitting back watching in the cut. I'm glad Ray Fisher spoke up. Even when he did, folks said he was exaggerating. Now look. I'm super sick and tired of these non-Black Americans acting like it's Black Americans' job to save everybody. Black Americans have our hands full. We're trying to get what we're owed. Just about... Oh, I saw that one already. Even now in K-pop culture, they've started implementing diversity training because so many of them are used to appropriating Black culture and doing blackface. Like, what? So nasty and so rude. Politics is just performative now. They have anti-Black solidarity. No Bheezebake today. I don't know why I can't see this. Hi, Shady Saint. Hi, Queen. Yeah, I think they are. Queen said, are people just caught up on the POC solidarity from the 60s? Yes. I think people have this idea in their mind of like, people have an idea in their mind, which I said in my other video, like, this is the problem. People have this idea in their mind that the problem is like white people. And like, yes, white people are the problem, a problem. But people have it in their mind that it's like everybody against white people. And that is not the perspective. Like, that's not it. Like, really, it's non-Blacks against Blacks. Because, like, anti-Blackness is pervasive. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in every country. It's in every place. Some idea of a caste system where the Blacker people are on the bottom. And especially anti-Black American sentiment, especially because there's like another layer of like social engineering, social brainwashing with how people feel about Black Americans specifically because of like the propaganda about us. So that's like really like that is the perspective. That is the perspective. Everybody, it's like people have the wrong perspective. Their perspective is whack. So they're like, we all need to come together against white people. It's like, well, I'm Black and y'all can't even deal with anti-Blackness. So how are we gonna come together against white people? Even if we all came together and, I don't know, defeated white people, I don't know, however you want to call that, they would all still hate niggers. So how does that work? I know I'm like not looking at the comments. Let me look. I can't see this. Something got cut off, so I'm just gonna remove this one because I can't see it. I live in the UK. Within the Asian communities, the colorism definitely proves anti-Blackness. Why are people so hung up on the yellow peril from the 60s? What exactly were some of the yellow peril actions that aided Black people? Like, what tangible actions were a success? You know, and people also don't understand that like Black American movements help literally everybody. Like Black American movements that results in things like affirmative action, which literally helps everybody. Like white women are the main recipients of affirmative action. We got, you know, a lot of, as a part of the Civil Rights Act, we got a lot of like immigration and naturalization bills passed that opened the door for a lot more immigrants to be able to come to the United States. Brown v. the Board of Education like was not just about like desegregating schools for Black people, because like Asians also were previously like kept in separate schools from white people. So a lot of people have been able to gain access from Black American movements, even though we ourselves, Black Americans, have not been able to gain access. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it's just like, it's a trip. It's real trippy. It's very telling that every group has a slur for Black people, and even other Black people have slurs for Black Americans. Filipino programming still has no problem doing blackface. I can't with my own people. We definitely can't talk, said Mochi Penguin. Hi, Hush 420. We are no longer mammies and mules. Snyder really knows how to make Wonder Woman look powerful, and I like that. Yup. Facts are in the truth of the matter is that everyone hates us Black Americans. Tiananmen Square was started because of anti-Black racism. They wanted the African students to leave the university. Is that true? I don't know much about Tiananmen Square. Right, let's deal with the overall anti-Blackness first. People don't want to do it. I got so triggered online today. Apparently, the yellow peril was largely made up of informants. They'll regenerate those pics of Asians and Native Americans with Fred Hampton in today's climate as if it negates the anti-Blackness and anti-Black American sentiments exhibited today. Yes, that's also very true, Queen. People use the activism of people that came before them, shit that they themselves would never do, to try to absolve themselves or excuse themselves from dealing with anti-Blackness and anti-Black American sentiments. Like, well, here's this picture of some random Asian people standing with MLK, so that means that I, an Asian in 2021, can't be racist. It's like, that doesn't work how you think it works. Hi, Kayla. What else can you do besides laugh sometimes? Yellow Peril definitely had FBI informants, Richard Aoki. So that is true. So Tiananmen Square was anti-Black. Wow, I'm reading up on it now. I did not know that the source of Tiananmen Square was Nanjing anti-African protests. So again, as I said previously, the foundation of like every other movement is either one, emulating the Black American civil rights era, or two, fighting against blackness. Because like you guys have also heard me say in other videos, like I have a video on feminism. You guys realize that like that is also like the foundation of like white feminism, was that they were discussing after like we were no longer slaves, they were discussing like giving black people, and by black people they meant black men, but they were discussing giving like black men the right to vote. And white women were like, no. White women were like women, but what they really meant were white women. Women, white women, we have to get the right to vote before niggers get the right to vote. And that is how the suffragette movement was born. Like that's how the suffragette movement was born. Susan B. Anthony literally said, she said, I will cut off my own arm before I see the Negro get to the polls before the woman. And so that is what caused white women to start mobilizing for women's rights, is that they were like, these niggers is getting some rights. Can't have that. Us white women got to get together. And so, and now, and even still to this day, they talk about like, oh, Susan B. Anthony is a hero, and they talk about like feminist movements, and they never talk about like the actual root of like white female feminism and like all these ideas about like white woman power and shit. The root of their foundation is anti-blackness. Like the root of people's movements be how much they don't like niggas. It's really real. It's real. But then they be like, we're all in this together. Women gotta stand together. Your whole movement is based on not liking Negroes. How are you supposed to have me? How are you gonna look me in my face and be like, we need to link up arm in arm? Like, damn, you really shameless and bold. People don't understand. Motherfuckers have to deal with anti-blackness, or none of this shit is gonna go anywhere. And there, Tiananmen Square was started because of anti-black racism. They wanted the African students to leave the university. See, and I just learned that. Now I just learned something new. Hi, Marcy. It's so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh. Yes, Tiananmen Square grew into all kind of protests afterwards, but anti-blackness was the root. They don't speak on the true history of that. Who cares about the pigs from the 1960s if they did not follow up in their grandparents' and ancestors' footsteps? Exactly, wishful thinking. They think they don't have to do anything. Susan B. Anthony said, hell no, she'd rather cut her own arm off. Also, as someone who's worked in a lot of majority non-black spaces, someone literally always has something anti-black to say. What can you do besides laugh? Then pulling out those the 1 to 3 old pictures, because it seems like it's always the same. Reminds me of Huey from the Boondocks calling out Granddad's entire generation for taking credit for what a few people did, which is true too, because like I said in another video, I was like, you know, when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive, 63% of the general public, including black people, disapproved of him. He had like a very high disapproval rating. Like people felt like he was a troublemaker, while the rest of the black people were just trying to like get by and assimilate, and they did not like it. But like now, definitely everybody from that generation was a freedom fighter. Not trying to shit on anybody, but like a lot of you guys did not fuck with MLK when you were alive, but now you guys are like old and acting like you was with the nigga shooting in the gym and you wasn't. People have been sitting on Twitter for the past week pulling up dusty old pics from the 60s of Asian people and black people sitting at one table together just for that yellow apparel to be primarily comprised of informants anyway. Ooh, my phone's gonna die soon. Susan B. Anthony was a huge racist. And then they had the nerve to put a statue of Sojourner Truth next to Susan B. Anthony. I hate it here. Queen. So disrespectful. They never want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear about the root of it all. They really be praising Susan B. Anthony too. Ida B. Wells, Phyllis Wheatley, and Sojourner Truth are the real feminists. Susan B. Anthony was just white supremacy female edition. And you know, like they wouldn't even let Ida B. Wells, like march with the suffragettes. They made the black women be in the back. The pattern is they use black suffering to push for social change and then push us out the way when it's time to collect. Hi, hell yeah. Hi, Mo. People hated MLK when he was alive. Gotta go, but I'm looking for your Justice League review. I'm gonna go soon too because my phone is getting ready to die. And I don't want it to die while I'm live because then the live won't save. Most people are cowards. Hi, CMW. They forgot MLK was reading the Marx Manifesto. He knew what was going on. I noticed that every elderly black person says something about the movement, and I just sit here like, huh? They did not like MLK being a socialist either. Let's wake that up. Yep. Yep. People would be so capped. The fact is that a lot of our own dislike MLK and Malcolm is called revisionist history. Yep. Yeah, and I see you guys talking about Operation Varsity Blues, which wasn't that long ago. It's really interesting that a lot of people seem to have only heard about this through this Netflix documentary. You guys don't remember when this shit was all over the news? About these like celebrities and fucking rich people, white people paying their way for their kids into like Ivy League schools. But yeah, then you have like it's really interesting, right? Like, so black Americans were like historically locked out of attending schools, right? So then we started historically black colleges and universities. Awesome. But then like once they decided to like fully desegregate schools, which like ultimately led to like affirmative action, right? Which people hate the idea of affirmative action. You have Asians and Asian Americans that are literally suing colleges to dismantle affirmative action because they feel like their spots are being stolen by niggers, right? And then it comes out that like white people are literally buying their way into schools and universities, and like no, like the Asians don't care about that. And then like it also comes out that like the actual main beneficiaries and recipients of affirmative action are actually white women, like the fucking redheaded girl that also tried to sue to end affirmative action when she didn't get into her dream school a few years ago. And it came out, it was like, well, actually the number one beneficiaries of affirmative action are in fact white women. So it's like, we're not even the main people. Like affirmative action got passed and we're not even the main people that benefit from affirmative action, yet they're still trying to dismantle affirmative action just off the idea that niggas are getting something from it. Asians are trying to dismantle it just off the idea. It's not even true because white women are the main ones getting something out of it. But just off the idea that niggas are getting something, the Asians said no. The white people said no. Meanwhile, white people are actively paying for their fucking kids to go to school. Like, the problem is anti-blackness. Thank you for the super chat, Mistress Cross. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me finish up these comments and I'm going to go before my phone dies. Oh, thank you, Quadri, Khalil. Super chat again. They try to revise history. We literally know all about it. Agreed. My mother-in-law says how she was scared to protest when MLK came to Memphis, but her brothers went out there. A lot of them are still living. Oh, and there's a super chat. Thank you. I remember talking to an Asian guy I knew that was anti-black about the whole Asians versus black in colleges. Once I mentioned rich white people paying for their kids to go to school, he got tongue-tied. He didn't know what to say. I'm just having a hard time understanding how the Asians in the lawsuit don't understand that if they win, it will bite them in the ass. They would rather not have access to affirmative action themselves than actually see black people get anything, because the problem is anti-blackness. But we also have an issue with anti-black American sentiment specifically, because you also have schools that utilize foreign blacks to pad their populations to make it look like they're giving Black Americans a shot at higher education, but they're really not, because we're different. And there's also an issue with anti-Black American sentiment specifically, and anybody that doesn't like that can leave, because it's true, it's real, it's been proven already. Anti-Black American sentiment is a real thing because foreign Blacks don't like Black Americans. Nobody likes Black Americans. Nobody. White people don't like Black Americans. Non-Black persons of color don't like Black Americans. Foreign Blacks don't like Black Americans. Everybody else just also hates foreign Blacks as well, but they like foreign Blacks a little bit more than Black Americans, so foreign Blacks get more access and more space and more privilege than Black Americans. I don't know how else to explain this. I've done videos on it. I've written literature on it. I've given y'all supplementary materials to read on it. Malcolm Gladwell, Black Like Them. Y'all just don't want to believe it. Not y'all, anyone in particular. I'm just in general. People don't want to believe it. Sketchnificent, thank you. Hope your day's going well. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Ori. Woo, I love these little dancing pairs. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we have to abolish everything. Everything has to go. The roots of everything is anti-Blackness and anti-Black American sentiment in particular. Like, I said what I said. I don't give a fuck. Listen. Hi. If you really believed that Black Americans should receive what we're owed, you wouldn't even have felt triggered to the point where you left this dumbass comment and now your ass is blocked. Ping! You're like a white person. You have a knee-jerk reaction to be like, Black Americans don't have a problem. All Black people have the same problem. Because of your anti-Black American sentiment. You see? I swear I talk and that shit goes in one ear and out the motherfucking other. Hi, Smiley. Like, motherfuckers, are you hard of hearing? My phone's probably about to die if I'm lagging. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a little bit of charge because I don't want to die. I don't want my phone to die. Like, what is it? Thank you for everyone that did super chat. Mochi, thank you. TJ Hannah, thank you. Everyone else uses affirmative action except those intended. Heck, only 10% of Black Americans actually go to school. Right, like, Black American movements aid everyone, and they are the blueprint for everything, and yet everybody hates us. It's a lot. It's real intense. Like, Nicole, I'm having a hard time understanding how the Asians in the lawsuit don't understand if they win, it will bite them in the ass. People said the same as I think about the redhead girl. The redhead white girl that was trying to dismantle affirmative action. People were like, white girls like you are the main beneficiaries of affirmative action. You just really don't want Black Americans to have anything. People would rather go without. They would rather dismantle shit that also is good for them than actually see Black Americans get anything. Because the problem, the foundation of everything and everyone's movement and everyone's thoughts is anti-Blackness and anti-Black Americanness specifically. Like, geez, y'all don't understand. I'm sorry, but I'm reading up on the Teen Vogue situation, and the tweet's happy that the woman was fired. Can't wait to see them ignore the Asian woman who was anti-Black. Bye, Alexia. Oh, thank you again, Sketchnificent. Oh, and there's Smiley. A lot of HBCUs no longer even have predominantly Black American students there. Hi, smart, cool, lunatic. Critical race studies. Yes, Seren. And, like, people are so not receptive. They are not receptive. They are so not receptive. They're so not receptive. It's so weird. Like, I'd be like, we have a social hierarchy that puts whites on top, non-black persons of color second, foreign blacks third, and black Americans at the bottom. Anti-blackness is global, as well as anti-black American sentiment specifically, because other kinds of black people also hate black Americans and utilize their privilege as not being black American to move up the ladder of racism, white supremacy, because that's what the foundation is. And people are like, no. What do you mean? What do you mean, no? What are you talking about? No, we're all oppressed the same. That's not true. Why is it that every single country, every single language, everywhere, like, they have derogatory fucking terms for black people? Why is it that within the fucking diaspora, they have derogatory terms for black Americans specifically? People are not like, I don't know if motherfuckers are just delusional, in denial, dishonest, willfully ignorant, disingenuous. I don't like, anti-black American sentiment is so normalized. It's really the subconscious in everybody's mind. And when you point it out, they get defensive. Hi, Hale, yeah. Hi, Chris. Oh, thank you, my pillow. Okay, wait, where was I? Oh, there's the person I got blocked. Time to abolish everything. It's a respect thing. It's true. I've heard a lot of people claim that foreign blacks work harder and they're more disciplined. Malcolm Gladwell, social scientist, fucking genius, talked about this in depth in 1966. In 1996, Black Like Them is the name of the literature that he wrote on this. People have been talking about this shit for decades, and motherfuckers is still trying to deny that this is a real thing. I do not understand. Oh, I might, Kimberly. I don't know. Can't stand people who can't handle nuance. They just want to argue just to argue. They're special kind of dumb. As a first generation Nigerian, you're not lying about the privilege. Talk about it because it's true. We have to address the anti-black American sentiment. That is universal. Thank you. I see you, Chica. Whoops. Our immigration policies prioritize the entry of foreign elites, and they have conservative politics, and they pass that on to their children. There's Chris. Hell yeah, people are starting to wake up just very slowly. It's cutting off the nose to spite the face. That's ridiculous, though. Chopping off their nose to spite their face. Hi, Stefan. Hey, Seren and everyone, save for the ones in the back. The problem is anti-blackness and anti-black Americanness. It's funny how folks get uncomfortable when you mention both. They do. People are fine. Well, okay. So you can say racism is a problem and white people will get upset. And then you can say anti-blackness is a problem and white people and non-black persons of color are going to get upset. And then you can say anti-black American sentiment specifically is also a problem. Whites, non-black persons of color, and foreign blacks are all going to get upset, and they're all going to jump on you, and they're all going to say the same thing. Black Americans are just lazy welfare queens, crack babies, smuts, slave children with no culture that don't deserve shit and don't want to work hard, and everybody else wants to work hard and all that. Everybody has the exact same rhetoric about us. They have the same thoughts because the fucking problem is anti-blackness and anti-black American sentiment specifically. I'm second generation Jamaican, and I've personally experienced older generations having an anti-Black American sentiment. I'm always doing my best to unlearn these internal notions. Anti-Blackness is a poison for the mind. And it's interesting because, like, people know, like, they know how their moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunties and uncles and sisters and brothers talk about Black Americans. Everybody is lying. They know. Hierarchy of the social construct of race. People say you're wrong with no argument. The civil rights era took the racial stigma off everyone else except Black Americans. And it was our movement. That was an internal scream. Oh, let me screenshot this book. The Good Immigrants. This is such a fact. All of the above. Malcolm Gladwell, Black Like Them. I've been recommending this fucking piece for years. Literally. Hi, Maki Moments. Thank you for super chat. I know long-term subscribers are tired of hearing me talk about that shit. They're like, Malcolm Gladwell, we know. But, like, he's a genius, and he's been talking about this for a very long time. Like, there have been Black social scientists, and he's not even American. He's not even a Black American. He's a Black Jamaican Canadian who talks firsthand about, like, the differences and how he's received here. Chalk up another point to Malcolm Gladwell. Nigerian comedian Godfrey admitted this in a set. He joked that he's Nigerian, and even though he grew up in Chicago and has an American accent, he breaks out the Nigerian accent when the cops pull him over. What's her name? Ruby from Lovecraft Country said something similar. Like, she's married to a Black American or something like that. And she said that she knows that, you know, if they get in an altercation with police, even though they're both Black, she said she knows that she's going to be treated differently. And they've gotten into altercations with police where she talked, like because she has an accent. She was like, let me talk. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. That's why when you talk about it, people get defensive. Everybody, deep down, everybody knows. If it's not about you, you shouldn't be bothered. The worst part is when this is their first time engaging in this type of talk, but they'd be so ready to argue and change your mind. Like, what the fuck do you know? Right. People swear, like, I've been thinking about a lot of these ideas and concepts for a long time, okay? You're not, like, I don't have an uninformed opinion. I'll put it that way. Like, a lot of people just got here and think they know. When you bring Black American into the convo, it causes a big, big problem because everyone knows they're benefiting from anti-Black American racism. I once heard a Ghanaian Brit say that foreign Blacks hate on Black Americans because they fear the day they lose the privilege they get at the expense of marginalized Black Americans. Everyone has privilege from us being at the bottom. That's why the social hierarchy places us at the bottom. We have to be a permanent underclass for people to be able to come to the United States and get ahead and partake in the American dream and have access to it. That requires a permanent underclass because there always has to be somebody that you can compare yourself to as, I am not them. So I should have access to the social hierarchy so I can move ahead. I'm not a Black American. I'm going to work really hard. I'm not like them. I'm not Black like them, which is exactly why Malcolm Gladwell called his piece Black Like Them. The positioning of Black Americans as a permanent underclass is like the reason why America works for people. People don't like to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Everybody wants to believe that they're getting ahead because they work hard. Shut the fuck up. People need to stop being defensive whenever anti-black and anti-black Americanism especially is mentioned, and listen. There's a difference between opinion and objective truths. Yes. We're lazy because we don't want to work for free anymore. With the way that people react to anti-black American discourse is so telling. Seren, like, you really be hitting a nerve because everybody knows, but nobody wants to admit it. Everybody knows, but nobody wants to admit it. They know. Half my family is foreign black. They say it proudly right in front of me, the half black American, how they're better than black Americans. And I have to tell them off. They stop running their mouth around me. They want to keep up the blinders and hold on to that cognitive dissonance, acting like we don't know. Anti-black American sentiment is real, and they all take part and benefit. Everybody is complicit. Everybody is complicit. Brazil is the poster child of anti-blackness. They had a whole policy on the whitening of the country. Brazil is ran by German ex-Nazis also. A lot of Nazis that got ran out of Europe, they settled in Brazil. You have a white German ruling class, which is how you end up with somebody like Gisele Bündchen, the Brazilian. They have a white German ruling class there. It's like very racist there. It's an open secret they won't talk about. They gaslight the fuck out of us. People get defensive because they realize how disturbing it truly is. They know. People spend one semester at Twitter University and swear they know everything, Tim. I'm thinking people are being deliberately obtuse during these times. I just tell folks you can't come in my house and rearrange my furniture. Exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing every immigrant ethnic group has done since America opened up. Exactly, Chris, which is also why I keep talking about the book Working Towards Whiteness, because people really don't understand the history of the United States and the way the social engineering of the United States, the social constructs of the United States, it's circular, right? Every immigrant group, this whole idea of like America as a land of opportunity for immigrants, every immigrant group has been positioned in the social hierarchy as oppositional to Black Americans. That's the way that the social engineering of the United States works. So be it the white Irish, the Italians, the Eastern European Jews, be it now the Asians or the Latinos or Latinx, whatever, I really don't care, the Hispanic, whatever, I don't care, you know what I'm talking about. And even foreign blacks, Black immigrants as well. This whole idea of like America, the land of opportunity and the place where you can like come, the foundation of it is this social engineering, this social hierarchy where Black Americans, the descendants of American chattel slavery, are the permanent underclass. Because then every immigrant group that comes here has the opportunity to work towards whiteness. And really, we're talking about whiteness as just the mainstream concept of the accepted mainstream society, this idea of whiteness. Every other group gets to work towards whiteness at the expense of Black Americans. Well, at least I'm not like them. That's why it works, because you have a permanent underclass. Not to mention the fact that the actual economic capital of the United States that all these other people are able to tap into was also created by slavery, American chattel slavery. America was able to become a superpower so fast because they literally had centuries of free labor. So everyone is in opposition to Black Americans. Literally, everyone is in opposition to Black Americans. Well, I see somebody about to get blocked. Somebody's arguing. They about to get blocked. It's the same thing every immigrant ethnic group has done since America opened up. Like, what are you even arguing? Like, what we're actually having a conversation about right now is history. So what are people arguing? We're talking about objective historical facts. For real. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about history. We're not talking about my opinion. We're talking about history. America is the last place on earth where foreign blacks are not on the bottom, and they're holding on to that anti-black American privilege for dear life. Anti-black racism is the elephant in the room that took a big dump, and everyone is just standing there complaining about the smell but not cleaning it up. Yes, Sketchnificent. Screenshot. Everybody didn't come into the country like Black Americans. It's easy to try and use culture to explain why groups succeed and say they just have a better culture than us. But no one wants to mention how there are structural factors exactly in place. It's all rooted in public policy. That's why I keep saying it's engineered. It's social engineering. People really just want to, because they're anti-Black American, they really just want to believe we just have a better culture than those Black Americans. And this includes other Black people. And this is why we're succeeding and they're not. No, things have been socially engineered this way since the inception of this country. I'm talking about history. You guys don't understand history. You guys don't know anything. So am I gonna get blocked? Blockety blocked. Exactly, it's literally the same thing. If anything, the fact that Black immigrants have privilege should be present of the Anti-Black American Foundation, not disproving racism. Yeah, people love to be like, well, foreign Blacks can do it, why can't y'all? Because they're not Black Americans. That's the standard. That's the standard. Hi, Superstar Bella. The point is white people realizing you're not a Black American and therefore they treat you differently. Try listening. Whoever's arguing against that, they don't know history. We're talking about stuff that's been studied already and proven already. What are you arguing? You trying to argue? What? Motherfuckers is trying to argue with history and objective facts. It's really the land of alternative facts. It's really getting weird. Yes, this is not a subjective interpretation. I'm talking about history, facts. If only I could reach through chat and backhand people. Now y'all know how I feel. I see you guys talking about Asian railroad workers. I don't know why people like to compare Asian railroad workers to Black people, because niggas was slaves. We were not paid. I don't care if Asian railroad workers that were paid, I'm sure they experienced discrimination because they're Asian, but they weren't enslaved. We're talking about history. We're not talking about your opinion. Your opinion that Chinese American railroad workers built this country just as much as fucking slaves. That's objectively untrue. People talk and they just be wrong. There's nothing and they swear we're having a debate. We're not having a fucking debate. We're not having no debate. You're wrong. I'm telling you facts and history. We're not having no debate, no fucking discussion, you dumbass. Again, this is my whole point. People got a problem with niggas. We can't even talk about the history. It's really the elephant in the room. The thing is, people always think when you point out their privilege, they act like you're saying they killed someone. Like, calm down, listen and learn. Bushy Brows, I don't know if you've seen or remember my very old video on privilege. It's in the on playlist. I said this in that video as well. I was like, nobody likes being told they have privilege. Nobody likes being told that they have privilege for anything. Because everybody wants to believe that they work hard and that they're not oppressing anyone. When the way that our structural hierarchies are set up, that's not how it works. But we can't even address it to even start to dismantle it because motherfuckers is in denial, which is why none of this shit is going anywhere. Hi, Fam Samity Sam. Seren, they're saying it wasn't in my history book, so it can't be true. Free labor does not equal underpaid labor. There were black railroad workers as well. Hi, Sincere. Asians were paid and allowed access to capital, not the same as slavery at all, even if they were oppressed under whiteness. Black people built the railroads. The majority was built by convict leasing, even though the Chinese built some tracks. Chain gang. I see you, Sincere. The USA is definitely the only place globally where Africans are not at the bottom. You would think that foreign blacks would be able to understand how black Americans feel. It's because nobody wants to dismantle the social hierarchy. Motherfuckers just want to get to the top. Nobody wants to. This is where the cognitive dissonance comes in, the disconnect. Because on the one hand, you have people that want to deny that they even have the privilege because it makes them uncomfortable to know that they have privilege and they're wielding it over others. But on the other hand, they don't want to actually, like, if they felt so strongly about it, you'd think they'd want to dismantle that system. But they don't want to actually give up that privilege and feel like they have to start from zero. It's better to start, like, Black Americans are in a negative space. Other people get to come here and at least start at 0 or at a 1 or at a 2. Black Americans are like we're in the red, we're in the black. Okay, like... So people don't want to actually dismantle the hierarchical structure in space because they don't want to lose that privilege and have to start, at the bottom, I guess. They want to have the opportunity to climb the social hierarchy, which is also related to capitalism, absolutely, and class, absolutely. But it's not, people love to be like, it's not about class, it's race. No, these things are interconnected. People want to get to the top of the social hierarchy and receive capital, money, jobs, blah, blah, blah. So they are not invested in giving up their privilege and dismantling the social engineering. Why the fuck would they do that? The only people that are invested in doing that is Black Americans. Which is why historically we've led all the movements. Which is why everyone gets help by us. Because we're actually the only people that are really interested in dismantling. Because we're really the ones that are suffering the most. Hi, Davey. Did they not see the movie Life? And yes, Black people also built the railroads. Please stop. People really on this revisionist history wave. I don't get the delusion. Hi, Van Shoes. How are you? The House Majority Leader was on the Colbert Report talking about how deserving Asians are worthy of protection because they serve in law enforcement and just want to be seen as Americans. Right, like they kill niggas too in the police. They are working towards whiteness. Read the book. Read the book. I didn't write the book. A white man wrote the book, Working Towards Whiteness. Black Americans built most of the tracks through prison work. Then they bring up Japanese internment camps, but Japanese Americans were paid reparations and Black Americans have not been. People could be so simple. Like, they really be like, we had it just as bad as Black people. We had it just as bad as Black Americans. It's like, but you realize, like, y'all receive reparations for what happened to you. We didn't. Y'all received payment even though you were underpaid. We didn't. Like, no, you didn't realize, because like in your culture, you also have an issue with, you have a culture of anti-blackness. So of course you're not going to realize. Like, it's sick, it's perverse, it's depraved. The whole conversation is disturbing. It takes a lot of emotional maturity for someone to admit their privilege. Everyone wants to be oppressed but have oppressor benefits. American slavery funded the railroad infrastructure. What are they talking about? Right, like they got paid slave wages. Like, you guys got, that's why I said, Javon, that's why I said, like, people also don't seem to understand when they talk all this like American opportunity shit, land of capital. The reason why America became a superpower so fast, and there's all this money and wealth and capital for payment for immigrants to come here and be paid, is because of slavery. You're literally being paid in slave money. The reason why people have this money to pay Chinese Americans, even though they are being oppressed, underpaid, and racism, white people, whatever, is because of slavery. Because the problem is anti-blackness and anti-black American sentiment specifically. We're talking about history. Chattel slavery funded a lot of things in this country. Right, Nova. Why would they take out the bottom step? They need the bottom step to get ahead. We're trying to change the game, but everyone else just wants to win the game. Why would they get rid of the bottom step? You have to step on that step to get to the top. How do people distinguish foreign blacks from black Americans, which leads to their oppression? Foreign blacks tell everyone that they're foreign because they know, because they themselves don't like black Americans. Black Americans, like, what? Foreign blacks literally tell everyone that they're foreign. Foreign flags in the bios. Like, what are you talking about? They have different names than us. They have different accents than us. They have a different culture. Like, you're trying to say all black people are the same. All black people are not the same. Black people are not a monolith. We are not all the same. They are different from us. Like, y'all really think we can't tell? Okay. Nigerians have a whole word for black Americans. Like, what? Y'all are in denial. Denial. Right, bushy brows, by telling you that they're not American. It's that simple. Like, what? 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 Glad you're doing good. They are Zafari. They are delusional. They are delusional. They are delusional. Y'all are delusional. Like, y'all are delusional. Like, the problem has always been anti-blackness, specifically towards black Americans. No, you're timing this person out. You didn't block them. You're just timing them out. Oh, now they're blocked. Last year during the riots really got on my nerves because everyone had this fake sympathy towards black Americans but didn't want to do exactly what we asked, which is reparations and justice. It's a clear indicator. I'm not like those black Americans over there. People love telling you that they're not black American. People will literally walk up to you and ask, what are you? And you'd be like, I'm a black American. And they'd be like, no, where are you from? And you'd be like, I'm from DC. This is like, these are conversations I've literally had. And you'd be like, I'm from DC. And they'd be like, no, where are your parents from? From DC. Where are your grandparents from? They're from DC. My whole family. And before that, a plantation in North Carolina. Like, oh. Like, y'all are really delusional. Like, y'all really acting like this is not the way the conversation. Y'all really acting like people do not differentiate themselves. Like, right, they ask so they know how to treat you. You guys really act like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if motherfuckers is just delusional. Twitter reminds us that they are different with their flags and their bios. Exactly, Smiley. That's what I said. Like, people have their flags in their bio. Like, people literally will have written in their bio, Nigerian, Niger, this, that. People go out of their way to differentiate themselves from Black Americans. But then when Black Americans say the problem is Black American sentiment, here y'all come. How do they even know who's who? Like, it's a joke. Like, it's so disingenuous. Like, you really think I'm stupid? You can call me a lot of things, but I'm not dumb. Not a dumb girl. Actually very smart. You're not about to gaslight me with the fuckery. How do they even know? Meanwhile, the person that's writing that probably has in their bio right now, fucking Ghanaian Brit or whatever. You know the only people that don't do that shit? Black Americans. And niggas have started doing it now by putting American flags in their bios, and people don't like it, they get offended. Because the problem is anti-Black American sentiment specifically. Clear indicator. I'm not like those Black Americans over there. So much revisionist history. This is all with intent. You can also tell by names and surnames. Whoops. Max Data, I think you got accidentally blocked, but it looks like you're back. Oh, super chat. Hi, Nikki. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thank you for your words, Seren. Been feeling really unsettled about this whole situation. It's one thing to be proud of your culture, but if someone weaponizes their culture to say how they are better than you, they are a cultural racist. It's not sinister. They let us know from the jump. On social media, they fly their flags. They say they're insert country American. Like, even in real life, people will say they're not Black Americans. They'll be like, no, I'm not African American, or I don't say African American, as you guys know, but they'll be like, no, I'm not Black American, I'm Jamaican. I'm not Black American, I'm Nigerian. I'm not Black American, I'm Haitian, I'm Nicaraguan, I'm this, I'm that. But y'all are really sitting here like, how do we know? This is the exact same thing that people do when we start talking about reparations. How will we know? Any other time, y'all have a whole DNA breakdown in your back pocket of where you're from, what country you're from, where your parents are from, what your name is, what your culture is. But as soon as we start talking about the anti-Black American sentiment, that shit, all of a sudden, how will we know? Reparations, everybody has to get reparations. How will we know? Sir, yesterday, didn't you have in your bio that you were a Jamaican, Ghanaian, Brit, and your parents were from here, and your daddy was from there, and this, and this, and this? And now, how will we know? Nope, I was actually playing devil's advocate. Relax. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. You think that Black American sentiment is funny. You think it's a joke. You think it's a game. You think we're kidding. You think that this is something that we can joke around about and play devil's advocate and troll because it's just for kicks, right? It's just funny, right? Black Americans being at the bottom of the social engineering hierarchy in the United States is like absolutely something that we can play devil's advocate about, right? Like, you're proving my point. You know that, right? This is how fucking motherfuckers look at Black Americans. And this is how they look at our problems. Like it's a joke. Y'all see that? Y'all see that comment? Y'all see that? I'm just trolling. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Y'all see that? Interesting. I don't even have to do it. They do it for me. I free your mind and your ass will follow. Right, that's privilege itself. Right, queen, that's privilege itself. I can play devil's advocate. That's privilege itself. We can play devil's advocate with this type of stuff because you're not in the same place as me. You're oppositional to me. You're an oppressor towards me. Even foreign blacks. We are in opposition. They are in opposition to Black Americans. They're ops. And historically, this is the way that immigration has worked in the United States, working towards whiteness. The social engineering places immigrants in a place of opposition towards Black Americans. But people like that place because anti-Black American sentiment is a huge problem. And they do believe that they're better than us. And they want us to remain on the bottom so they can continue to climb up the social hierarchy. I'm using nice, simple words. Okay, I think Max is out. Yeah, there you are, Max. Mo, exactly. Where are you really from? If we can tell the difference between people from Baltimore, DC, Philly, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Charleston, you don't think people don't know the difference between a foreign Black and a Black American, right? Like their names are different. Like it's just like when we talk about applying for jobs, right? And how they say that like Black names are seen as like worse off than like quote unquote white names. If you see somebody's name and it says fucking Tanisha Johnson, you're not gonna assume that they're a fucking Black immigrant. Y'all really think, like, y'all really, like, I don't, motherfuckers is really like, they can't tell niggers apart. All Black people are the same. But then in the next breath, they be like, Black people aren't a monolith. We're not all the same. Playing both sides of the fence. Same as how Asians do. Same as how all the non-Black persons of color do. Same as how the whites do. The foreign Blacks do the exact same thing. Everybody's in opposition to Black Americans because of the way the social engineering and the social hierarchy structure is set up. I always check for the flag, so I make sure not to spend my money with them. I try to know. I see you, free your mind, and your ass will follow. My Jamaican ex told me her parents and aunts and uncles told her and her cousins that they're not like the Black people in America and that they're different. We all know. We've all heard about how other type of Black people, their parents, and again, they daddies and they moms and they aunts and they uncles and they grandparents and all that will be like, do not date Black Americans. Don't be around them. Don't be friends with them. You should be friends with white people. You should be friends with Asians. Don't be around Black Americans. Now everybody is Ray Charles to this. Everybody's acting like they've never heard this. They don't know this. Okay. All you got to do is holler anti-Black American sentiment and they will pop out of a bush like a gremlin. They will jump out of a trash can. I could tell by the cringy use of slang and mannerisms, it's always a little off. Right now, through my paternal grandmother's side, I could trace my ancestry to the Civil War, to a woman named Cora, and that's not even including looking up Bill of Sale. People could tell the difference. The singer Her did that on her Instagram, othering herself, saying she was the first Filipino to win a Grammy. First Filipino to win a Grammy for a song called I Can't Breathe. That's about Black Americans and Black Lives Matter. Like I said, playing both sides. Why are you advocating for the devil? That's privilege itself. I could play devil's advocate. The same for play. We don't do this for fun. How do we, right, all of a sudden, how do we know who's Black anyway? How can we tell? The way people think it's fun to overstep boundaries. Block. I don't play with the devil. Like you came in simply to derail on purpose out of your own mouth. You don't need to be in this space. space. Exactly. Her is always tripping. I can't stand her for real. I wrote a book. It's on the About page if you want to buy it. It's called So About That, Contemporary Essays on Race and Pop Culture. But I'm working on another one. Right, she has written a book. Have you ever thought about writing a book? I've written tons of literature and essays too. Have you ever thought about checking the About section before you ask a question? Probably not. Have you ever thought about looking into the work that somebody's done before you ask stupid ass questions? Absolutely not. I feel like I know it's Tanisha Johnson. The name of the book is So About That. It's on the About page. All of my links and all of my information. I don't know. Maybe other YouTubers like don't use the YouTube tools, but I do. So if you go look in the About section, About, there's all the information about me and things that I've written and things that I've published and work that I've done. But I am working on another book. But anyone that's interested in my stuff, please check the About page. I keep it updated. Exactly, Ori. Like, sir, your last name is Oduwale. We know. Yes, we know. We know. There's also playlists. If you're new to the channel, must-watch playlists on. You can check out the playlists. Yes. You would think that these groups of people would be more for the liberation of Black Americans, because if we win, everybody wins. That's how you know they don't want liberation, just to be on par with whites. Exactly. Black Americans are really the only people that want actual liberation. Ooh, sorry. Which is why every single time we lead liberation movements, things happen, and things happen that are good for everybody. Other groups do not want liberation. They do not want liberation. Like, yeah, they just want to be on par with whites. They just want to climb the social hierarchy. They do not actually want to dismantle the hierarchy. They don't want real liberation. I think about white feminism all the time. They literally was like, we need to galvanize for white women to vote because they're trying to give the right to vote to niggers. White women need to get the right to vote before those niggers. But then they'd be like, oh, it's about women's rights, women's liberation. No, your movement was about anti-blackness. Your movement was about anti-Black American sentiment and not wanting Black Americans to be able to vote. That's what why your movement was founded. You're not actually trying to dismantle patriarchy. You want the power of a white man to oppress niggers. You're not trying to dismantle. That's not dismantling patriarchy. People don't want to dismantle oppressive systems at all. Historically. They just want to get to the top of the system. They don't want it to go away. And for anyone that wants to hear more on my thoughts about white feminism, I have a video called On White Feminism. Yes, they don't want to dismantle it. They want to incorporate it. Like, but they'll be like, no, we want to no, you don't want to dismantle, you fucking liar. It's weird to separate themselves from their blackness. That's why I'm now iffy about her. If that's how her feels, why didn't she make a song from her Filipino culture? Don't come into the house and arrange the furniture. Literally never heard of that her song. White people at the Grammys are definitely throwing out awards to get rid of white guilt. Chris. Let me screenshot. You guys are funny. Foreign blacks will never understand the trauma of Black Americans. Yeah, I wish they'd stop speaking for us because they can't. No, but you guys are clowning. Funny. Filipino music isn't popular here in America. Black music is. These other groups know what's popping. High Fawcett Media Group from its inception should be anti-black from inception, and then they'd be like, no, it's about dismantling systems. No, it's not about dismantling systems. No, that's not true. Really can't believe it's been 7 years of your videos. I was in my first year of college when I started watching you. I've learned a lot from these videos. The playlists are clutch. Yay, thank you. They don't want to dismantle it. They want to incorporate it. Foreign blacks definitely don't know how to use our vernacular. They sound crazy using it. And I know they have to feel weird saying it. It's crazy. Oppressive systems benefit many people, no matter the color. Yes, her is Black and Filipino. Basically, everyone is President Coin. People don't want to dismantle systems that they benefit directly from. They just want to get to the top. Gotta watch out for the folks who want to replace the community at the top rather than getting rid of the oppressive system entirely. Yes, like President Coin. Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, there's dissonance. Because people know that they're benefiting, that they have a certain amount of privilege, which is why they just want to get to the top. They don't want the system to go. I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to dismantle. I want patriarchy to go. I need capitalism to go. I need anti-Black American sentiment to go. I need anti-Blackness to go. I need the system of racism, white supremacy to go. Which is why I'm saying, like, Black Americans are really the only ones that really want liberation. Which is why when we fight, like in the civil rights era, for example, shit happens for everybody. We wasn't just like, us Black people, we just want to get into white schools. We said they need to end all segregational practices, which means that now Asians can also go to school with white people, which means that now Mexicans, because they just called everybody Mexicans, which means now Mexicans, aka Latinos, can go to school with white people, right? We didn't just say we just want something just for us. We said we want to dismantle. No one else does this but us. It's like a mind fuck. This is why everybody expects Black Americans to put them on our backs and carry them like mules. Thank you, Mistress Cross. Bye. Now I've been on like a while, but I'm getting to the end. And she makes the titles of the videos so simple, easy to find. Yeah, like the video on feminism, and you can know what I think about feminism. The Grammys aren't even relevant. These stupid award shows. Yeah, you guys know I hate award shows. I have a whole playlist called I Hate Award Shows. Hi. These concepts are not illogical. That's the part that those who argue against them don't realize. Yes, like, it already disadvantages them in trying to criticize. It's purely about them not wanting to admit what's really going on. Burn it all down. They have a different idea on what it means to dismantle white supremacy. They think white supremacy is just kicking white people out of the top spot and inserting themselves into the top spot. Pick whatever group, whatever marginalized group. That's what they feel like it is. And I saw somebody bring up colorism, and that's definitely something that's happening in the colorism conversation as well. Instead of like, hey, how about we actually dismantle colorism? How about we actually dismantle our worship and idealization of light skin? Instead, people are just like, light-skinned people are the problem. That's not, like, it's like a shortcut. Like, people are trying to take shortcuts to so-called quote-unquote liberation. You can't take shortcuts. You can't take shortcuts. You can't take shortcuts. Like, even if we got rid of all the light-skinned people, there would still be problems with colorism and fucking anti-blackness and fucking anti-black American sentiment. Like, foreign blacks hate black Americans of all shades. So we would still have anti-black American sentiment. We would still, because like people are not actually dismantling systems. They're just trying to like take shortcuts to get them to they're just trying to rearrange the hierarchy. Really, like President Coin, like Hunger Games. Like, they're just trying to like rearrange. Like, oh, colorism, light-skinned people are on the top, so we gotta get like dark-skinned people on the top. Instead of like, let's get rid of colorism. Let's get rid of the worshiping of light skin. Let's get rid of, instead it's just like, no, actually we want to keep it. I hate it here, you guys. I hate it here, actually. I hate it here. I'd like to leave. I'd like to leave. Or like people just like not having awareness. Like, it's really interesting to me, and then I'm gonna go. It's really interesting to me, for example, and I said this in Discord, to see like foreign blacks complaining about biracials. That's really interesting to me because like foreign blacks and biracials take up an equal amount of space when it comes to black Americans. Like, when you watch Lovecraft Country, the roles of the two black American women was played by Journey, who's biracial, and Ruby, who's a foreign black. Like, biracials and foreign blacks take up the same exact amount of space when we're talking about like monoracial black American representation, right? Like, they take up literally the same amount of space. Yet people don't seem to see that or want to talk about that, or want to talk about how our real issue is that we don't have accurate representation across the board. Instead, we get all this, like, I don't even know what the talk is. Like, motherfuckers just want to, like, rearrange the social hierarchy. I don't want to do that. I hate hierarchies. Like, people just want shortcuts to everything. If black Americans aren't free, no one else is. Or they're benefiting from our oppression. Yeah. I'm not your mule. Dismantle to a lot of people means they just want white people to be nicer to them. Yes, like... And they want white people to give them more opportunities. Hi, Alexis. Bye, Mistress Cross. The problem is anti-blackness, and people act like all forms of anti-blackness and racism have to be overt, and that's where their thought train ends. Folks need to be honest with what's going on and what they want. Bye. Everybody dismantling the system of oppression. Be safe. They want a diverse plantation. They want to be in the big house. Then you have niggas like me that's a field nigga that's like, actually, we should burn this whole shit down. Why are y'all working to be in the fucking big house? It's always anti-black o'clock, anti-black American sentiment. They just want to move the pieces around a little bit. No one will notice. We need better stories from people who are responsible with image. Yeah, that's really what we need. That's really what we need. Oh, somebody said this is like, hold on. Somebody said this is like people saying, instead of saying the monarchy must go, people are saying Harry should have married a dark-skinned woman. No, abolish the monarchy. Right. People saying like, yeah, like Harry, to defeat colorism, Harry should have married a dark-skinned woman so that a dark-skinned woman could secure the bag. No, no, no. How about we abolish the monarchy? We abolish capitalism. We abolish bags. Like, no. They sure do. Foreign blacks and biracials are replacing monoracial black Americans and everything, and we did not have much to begin with. Nobody wants to talk about that. Trickle-down liberation won't ever work. Yeah. I just got to the bottom, which the last thing I read was trickle-down liberation won't ever work. So all 250 of you, think about that. The problem is anti-black American sentiment. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for everyone that did super chat. Bye, guys.